everybody here. Thanks. I will let some people jump on, but we thought that it would be a good idea to kind of introduce Celebrity Sex Scandal and talk about their new record that's coming out on February 17th tonight with some of the guys from the band. So I suppose we can give people a couple of minutes to get going on here, and then we can just jump in, or we could just start now. I guess it's all well and good. So I'm Jason. I'm in Dog Fashion Disco, and I'm co-owner of Razor to Wrist Records, and we're very happy to have Celebrity Sex Scandal on our label. Celebrity Sex Scandal is comprised of, I guess, a couple of former Dog Fashion Disco members. Greg, wait, over here.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I was trying to do the chat. Hi.
There's Greg, and Jeff Siegel, who's not on this, but he's our former keyboard player. He's been playing with those guys for a while, and then we have Pablo, who's their new bass player, who's been doing a heck of a job with all of the online stuff, and he's actually the guy that did this. Let me see, this fabulous art for the new cover, and some of the merchandise. Justin, of course, dude, I keep this Amir. Justin, of course, and Amir is the singer. And I haven't met Joe yet. Joe, what's your role in all of this?
I guess you could call me a super fan or a mega fan.
Right off.
Yeah, I've been a big fan of the band since the early beginnings. I've been to many shows. I've loved these guys since the very beginning. Greg, Justin, now Pablo. So I mean, it's always been a good time, and I'm glad to be a part of this. So thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Right on. So are you the dancer? Are you like
I'm especially after a couple of beers at a show.
remember the Boss, Greg, you probably remember the Boss Tones. Of course, remember the band, but what was the dancer's name? Do you remember that dude? Greg? Are you there?
We lost him.
Oh, Greg's frozen. I couldn't even tell that he was frozen. That's the scariest thing. Oh, there he is.
Yeah, no, everybody froze for a minute. So.
Oh no! All right.
Ben Carr, Jason. That's the dancer.
All right. But the Boss Tones dancer. Remember him back in the day, Greg?
Good times.
Hell yeah! Well, that's like a, that's like a super influence, I think, on you guys back in the day was the Boss Tones. Am I right about that?
Yeah, me for sure. When Question the Answers came out, like that really just blew me away. It's a well-written album. It was just really cool. Yeah. And yeah, we saw those guys forever. Jason, I was thinking about it earlier, that it's been like 30 years since we've known each other just about. Isn't that crazy? 30 fucking years.
Well, when I start thinking about like when you bowed out of DFD and I joined, dude, that was 2003. That was 20 years ago.
Yeah, I know. Crazy.
Yeah, I think that means we're fucking old, is what that means.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Not a day.
But,
go ahead.
Go ahead. No,
I was going to say the reason we're here is to talk about the new record, and I guess maybe talk about the other records and maybe the fundamental of it, and try to get that going on. So I mean, if you guys just want to jump in with this record, what was the thought process behind this one?
So that's actually why we have Joe here, because he's come up with kind of a strategy to kind of go through the process and interview and stuff like that. So everybody froze again on me.
No,
you're still there.
No, we got you, buddy. So no, I kind of was thinking about it.
Oh, he's actually frozen.
Well, he's out on his fucking porch. What do you expect? I'm just gonna wander down the street and see if this whole thing works on my Wi-Fi. Pretty confident in my tech ability.
We should all like freeze for Greg.
You guys are always freezing for me. That's what I'm seeing. So, was I cut off what I was saying?
Yeah.
Yes.
So
okay. I was saying that's why we have Joe here, is to kind of walk us through some stuff. He's come up with a strategy to kind of talk about all these things, so we don't have to try to scrape our brains.
Oh,
Yeah. I
I don't have to ask questions.
Yeah, I put a couple.
Here. Hey, Caitlin.
Yeah, I put together a couple questions, but kind of, just I'm really excited about the new album, the fourth album. All right, from Celebrity. The first obvious question, because I know you guys are self-produced. Just how was the record made? How did this come about after the release of the Fundamental, 2020? How was this made? How did this all come about?
Very slowly. It was so really quickly. We finished the last album as we were coming into lockdown. I finished my vocals and then mixed the record, and then it was done. And then we didn't gig and tour or promote anything. But we were still in heavy lockdown when we started tracking drums, and it was it's been a slog. It has been a solid 2 years of working on this record. But Greg, how did you get started? Because we start with Greg's demos on his iPad, and then it builds from there. What were you thinking about?
That's part of this problem with why it takes so long is me trying to rush through demos alone, and then bringing them and trying to clean them up and turn them into songs. And the challenge that puts on the other guys is they're writing as they're recording, and I know that can put pressure and just a lot of awkwardness here and there. But as painful as it might have been, it turned out really fucking good. Turned out really good. I mean, I don't know. I don't know that. I mean, I look back. I'm like, maybe that pressure was good. Maybe that forced us to, I don't know, do something stupid. I know, Justin.
It's super cool. It's a cool record.
It's definitely different. Like Justin and I were talking that it's probably our heaviest record, but also our most chill record at the same time. If that makes any sense.
It's all over the place, which is exactly what your band is. So it's par for the course. But yeah, man, Justin knocked it out of the park with the production. He did a fucking great job. So
yeah, I agree.
Yeah, we did the drums here in my loft. Right, we tracked it right here on my big console, and the drums right over here. Dude, I don't know. We on the weekends whenever we could.
That blue line flag back there.
Yeah. This isn't a We Love Police. This is an I Love Satan. There's a difference.
That's a Satan flag right on.
Absolutely.
A thin black line.
There you go.
Yeah.
But we tracked the drums right over there, and it was a pain. My family hated walking around a drum kit for 6 months. It literally.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it was all set up, and I'd pull my tail back into the room and shut the door so my family didn't have to step over all that. But we just tear down what we could and leave what we could up. And every other weekend, they'll say, somebody was.
So was it? So did you do the drums? You did the drums to Greg's demos. So and then had finished drums to work from for everything else.
Yeah, but so it was taking so long, and our drummer schedule was so difficult to work around. We just started leapfrogging. And so if he could only work on Saturdays, I'd get Pablo in to start doing bass on Tuesdays. And so we were doing guitar, bass, and drums all at the same time, trying to get it all done. It was a lot.
Did you do the guitars and bass in the box, or did you mic an amp?
Bass was in the box from the get-go. Guitars, I did mic an amp, and I took a DI, and I ended up using mostly DI, but a little bit of both.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's amazing how things have changed now. Because, going direct, it's a solid state. I need my super awesome tube amp. But now it's like, Jesus Christ, these programs sound fantastic.
You kind of almost can't tell. I mean, this thing right here, Greg, have you ever fucked with one of these? This Kemper? It's ridiculous. It's
not like that one,
thing. It's like a fucking pedal.
Right.
You plug it in, you're like, wow, that sounds really good.
Well, I'm super lucky right now because Justin is going back in and setting up all of my live switching to the clicks. So basically, the only thing I have to run is my wah pedal.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Now and then, I'll be able to play in time live.
yeah, that's what it was. It was the foot switch this whole time.
if it's pre-programmed or pre-recorded, you're like golden.
Yeah. I told him, I was like, just fucking keep the guitars in.
Be like, we're gonna show up to shows, be like, is Greg's guitar even plugged in?
Don't matter.
It sounds great. I don't know who's playing it. That's funny. No, dude, it's crazy what you can do now, man. And you guys are super lucky to have Justin in the band because he has like
absolutely
such a knowledge of all that stuff. You know, that's it's a huge step up to have somebody who's he can do that stuff,
right.
Well, anybody can do it badly, but to have someone who actually knows what they're doing is a big bonus.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Now, if you're kind of like a new fan, you're not someone like myself who's been following the band for a couple of years. If you're brand new to the band, and if you were to label yourselves or what kind of genre you guys were kind of in, I know y'all got labeled kind of like that avant-garde metal, progressive metal. Do you still kind of follow that, or how would you label yourself today if
Weird
somebody
shit
brand
with
new was
horns.
checking out the band? Yeah,
That's what we say. What kind of band are you? Weird shit with horns.
Weird shit with horns. All right, good enough. Good deal.
That's it. That's a good one.
I like to throw new phrases out, like thrash ska is a good one.
Okay, that's what I was looking for. More responses
thrash?
like that.
Just
Thrash
angry,
ska?
thrashy ska. No,
Very nice.
It is all over the place, so it's kind of hard.
No, I was really excited when I got to see the music video for Caffeined. Am I saying it right? Caffeined.
Yep.
Super fun. I love the idea, nostalgia at its finest. Rocking out. It was amazing to just hear, and I was just so stoked when I got to see it. I'm lucky because I get to kind of see this thing before most people do. I'm spoiled. I'm not spoiled, but for the most part, super fun, guys. So kudos on the music video. Now, when it came to the music video, was that all Pablo or
All Pablo?
All Pablo?
From the ground up.
Yes, sir.
All right, let me ask you, my friend. Where do you get your creative juices to come up with stuff like that, man? Where does that stuff come from?
Man, I do video and special effects stuff at work for a living, but I never get to do it to this level. So a lot of it was taking what celebrity already is and taking that sense of humor and trying to show it, because that's a great thing about the band. When you see us live, there's humor in all the madness that we do, and how can you show that visually in a song? So that was the main thing. Everything else, actually, the video game concept kind of came quickly because I thought, wouldn't it be cool if we had the band doing some Street Fighter thing? And that was originally going to be maybe just like a graphic. And I thought, no, let me see what I can develop using After Effects and some other software, and just went hard into that direction, and just went video game, and tried to have a few different games in there represented, and have everybody in the band had a part in there as well. But it was just a lot of fun to do, for sure.
Yeah, you did a great job with that, man. It's awesome. Super cool.
Thanks.
Yeah, I really like how each member, like you said, got their own little time to shine, so to speak, because there is a good amount of members in the band, and everybody has a special part in the band. And I love that. I love that everybody got their little shine, especially seeing Justin's head morphed on the Sonic buddy. that was hilarious. I was laughing my butt off.
Well,
it was cool too. I was going to comment real quick, Joe, that it was really cool that Pablo found a way to squeeze in some of the members that were not in there. Like the drummer that had that done some recording for us was on the bottom of the choosing players, and Jeff Siegel's face was in there on the bottom, like, for choosing the player. And so it was really cool how he managed to include some of those other guys that are not active with us right now.
Absolutely. No, it was real cool. I was kind of going over the track list of the album, and there's 10 songs on the new album, right? Now, were there any leftover songs, or was it just 10, or you had some you didn't put on the album? What kind of made you decide that these were the 10 songs that you wanted to release on what is it? Convergence of Infinite Sequences. What was it?
For the first time, we actually had 3 songs left over, 2 songs
We have
left over.
3.
Really?
3 songs.
It was really about which ones I actually finished.
So they're excellent tracks.
10, right?
Yeah.
They're excellent tracks.
One of my favorite songs didn't make the album.
Oh,
It's
You're leading this thing, Greg. You're supposed to put your foot down.
Oh yeah. Hey, listen, Justin is really easy to work with. He does exactly what I ask him when I ask him. That's how it goes.
Yeah. So this kind of goes into how we make the record, how we made this one and the last record. But we in kind of writing them as we record them. Sometimes I'll actually demo vocals, just kind of scratch vocals and see how they fit, and then really sit down and track them. But most of the time, I'm just really recording the record as I'm writing it.
Yeah.
Which means that if I hit a wall and I can't make it all work and lose my inspiration on it, then I'm at a wall. And instead of just being stuck in place, I'll move on to something else and just see what else I can get done. And it just turned out that those songs didn't get done. And one of them was Greg's favorite.
But it'll come back around. We'll put that somewhere else.
It'll be there for the next one. I mean, that's saved to the computer.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of bonus features, So if there's kind of like a special edition album with the songs,
Did you say
they've made noise about wanting to do a vinyl? So when we do a vinyl, there'll be bonus songs.
There we go.
That's awesome. There we go. All right. So let's see. So now, when it comes to the previous albums, of course, you got Derivative, Integral, The Fundamental. Since Derivative, which that was my introduction to the band, that's what got my attention. Where do you feel y'all have grown from then to now? What has changed, not just in band member, but what as a whole, as from the group perspective, what has changed for the most part since then to now? Maturity, style, feel for music, current music. What is it that what has changed since then?
Well, we know how to write songs now.
There we go. Okay, songwriting. Okay.
So that record was kind of special in that it was kind of us getting to know each other, and really that album is just like 95% pure Greg's ego, and I don't mean that in an insulting way. I mean like this was his kind of like his way of getting back into writing music. He hadn't really done anything. I'm going to speak for you if you don't mind. You're just sitting there. But being on the other side of it, he had all these ideas, the lyrics and the themes and everything. I only wrote lyrics for one song on that record. And he just kind of like, here, man, can you arrange my shit? And we built it up from there. A big part of the evolution of the first three records is just kind of me learning my place and how to write to this shit. Because I've been in tons of bands, but nothing like this. So the first album was almost all Greg's lyrics. The second record was about half. And now I don't let him touch it.
which is fantastic because I fucking hate writing lyrics. The Derivative was a lot of fun to do just because it was the first time I ever did wrote a whole album, so it's pretty cool. I think that what's happened is the songwriting has evolved in the fact that I don't know that it's evolved so much because I honestly feel like this album musically is a lot like Derivative in my opinion. But it's evolved to where it's not just silly for the sake of being silly, except for sometimes, I guess. But what's interesting is that as the songs get a little bit better, maybe a little bit more mature, Justin has his production capabilities and value and his vocals, have improved so much that I think.
Great.
Leaves us in suspense. And he thinks what? He thinks it's great. Justin,
there we go.
Oh, there he is.
I was gonna say I think a lot of it has to do with Justin's vocal improvement to the point where now he's like what he's writing is a little bit more mature. They're very hooky, like putting there's a lot of like hooky choruses and stuff, and it's just I think that that's really what's more evolved because the music is kind of the same. It's just in a way it's just heavy and then weird and then heavy and then weird.
I will say I think this album a big difference is Pablo having his Dan, our previous bass player was, I would almost call him like a 70s bassist. The way he played and he kind of intentionally kept his bass from popping out. Like he wanted to be a really neat weight under the song, and he didn't want to pop out a lot. And it kind of took away from, I think, the texture that could have been. And Pablo's way of playing that I really appreciated this time around was a lot more like I spent way more time working on his bass tone so that it cut through than anything else on this fucking record. But I really like, bringing him in and letting him kind of do his thing. And the big thing was trying to get together and confuculate, make his shit work with our shit, dip his peanut butter in our
Confuculate.
Yeah, you never heard that?
You guys missed a golden opportunity on an album title.
Confuculation.
Maybe that's the EP with the bonus tracks.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's not if I can enough though, Greg.
If I can add to that, Justin and Greg, just as far as the direction of where this one went, I really, really enjoyed going back and listening to Dan's work and picking up on some of those songs and getting a little bit of the flavor of what was there. But also when you have two completely different players, I just have to naturally bring in what's natural to me as far as phrasing or ideas. So there were opportunities when I heard the guitar tracks, because sometimes it'd be a skeleton track of really just guitar and drums. Sometimes it'd be that bare, both of them demo versions of it. And I would hear what I was given and know that it was one thing, but I would literally take an opportunity to hijack it and have fun and have fun with a riff. And there were times where Justin and I heard that where he's like, you turned it around, like you flipped the bitch on it. So like a
that's another Justinism. Yeah. Flip the bitch on the beat.
Yeah, so I'll take a U-turn on where the direction of the song might have gone, and sometimes it's to the chagrin of everybody in the room where they're like, I didn't know it was going to go this way, but sometimes it works out because Celebrity is kind of open to having a lot of those ideas in there and making it work, and the horn section just makes it more dynamic. So the build of the layering of adding bass was a lot of fun because there were opportunities to know like, hey, this is a moment where I can do something real fun.
Yeah, a lot of good performances on this record. Actually, the bass playing is really good. The horn performances are really good. Like those guys knocked it out of the park. They're excellent. So
we had four horn players on this record.
Excellent.
We usually only had two. And we had four this time around.
Full horn section.
We had saxophone this time. It was awesome.
Yeah, those guys did a really nice job.
That is so awesome. I was curious, like, what is for the new album? What's the message? What's the theme of the album? What is it that you're trying to get out to everybody, all the fans? What are you trying to get out to everybody? What does it represent to you guys, this album?
So the last album was, a pretty, it was made in a very tumultuous time in the world, a lot of things happening. And that was a lot of what I wrote. But I think this time around, I wanted to be a little less in your face. I wanted to be a little more vague about what I'm talking about. I wanted to be not beat around the bush, but a little more poetic about it and less punch you in the mouth kind of lyrics. But really, Greg had that title, it has to do with the whole math theme that we were going with. And to me, it's about, I don't know, how do I want to put this? I'm not buzzed yet, so my there's too much blood in my alcohol system. Hang on.
Well, it's definitely a convergence of ideas, man. Not literally to tie it into the title, but it really is an amalgamation of different moods and feelings. It's a really carefully constructed soundscape. So it captures the live energy of the band, and also really creates different worlds for the listener. So yes, we do have that avant-garde title where it goes from genre to genre, but it's done really expertly, and it's done in a way that still captures the identity of the band without just being random genres thrown together.
Well, I think this is a return to form too, of sorts. Would you agree with that, Greg? Like I feel like the fundamental was
I don't want to say
copy, but it's it has those things, and this record is like, get rid of that shit. Like,
the fundamental is it to me feels like a strumming album. You know what I mean? Like you can kind of just strum through that album. You know what I mean?
Mid-tempo, No, I agree.
And so when I started writing this, I did intentionally want to go back and kind of recapture some of the, the original like derivative style, because, and integral style. So yeah, it worked out well. I'm really, really pleased with it. Turned out really good. And so, yeah, I mean, I feel like it's kind of a return to form for us, and I love derivative. I think that's a very, I would say it's kind of a mature sounding album for what we did. It's a good record, but yeah, this definitely is more of a going back to what we've done. Yeah.
I love hearing that stuff. You do that stuff, Greg, because it's like, of course, your work with Dog Fashion and your work like back in the day and all these things, and I can always pick out the riffs that you wrote when you wrote them, and it's fun to hear. Like, for me, I like have a weird like place in all of this, but like it's fun to hear new riffs that sound similar to some of the old riffs from the old records. It's like there's Greg. That's what he does. It's I don't know. It's just
it's fun. It was a fun to do that because again, Fundamental was. I love that album, but it definitely it doesn't represent truly, I think, who we are.
It was definitely the easiest album for me to write. I wrote all those vocals and recorded them in maybe a month, like from scratch. The last one. Oh my God, the last one. No, this one is very much so like back to the old days. It took me probably a year to write the vocals for Integral. Probably the same thing for this one. I mean, the difference.
It's hard to write vocals over music like that.
It really is. It really is. It is.
It's not easy doing that.
It's
not
like
that I write vocals over any of it, but it's like, man, weird stuff. It's hard.
It's like for me, I really go to great pains to try and make it flow and make sense. And I want it to be still a song. I want it to be catchy. I mean, I was in weird bands as a teenager, and they were just awful. Like, when you're doing an odd time signature, an amateur singer goes da 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 along with it, and it's horrible. And so to be able to, I always try, like when Greg's doing something way out of time or there's weird accents, I want to trick people into thinking it's not there. I want to smooth it over with the vocals so that you can't tell, like, oh, that's in alternating 7 and 6 over 8, and you couldn't even tell because you were listening to my vocal.
Dude, that's the Sting trick, man. Sting can write anything in some weird time signature and make you think it's an even time.
Yeah,
it's not easy though. So no. and I think you guys definitely nailed some of that on this record.
Absolutely. Now, I just wanted to isolate something, a certain song from the new album. I have, I don't know if it's okay for me to say this. I have listened to the album in its entirety, and it's fucking rad. It's kick ass. It smacks cheeks, if I could say that and get vulgar for a second. It smacks. But my favorite song, I have to admit, is "Kill Me." Okay. It is heavy as hell. It rips your freaking face off. I have put it on repeat over and over in my car. And
I think Greg is frozen.
I literally, there's a certain section, there's a certain part of the song that gives me goosebumps. I haven't had a song give me that in a long time. And fucking Kill Me. Yes, fucking Kill Me kicks so much ass. And I just couldn't tell you. Like, I love, Caffeine and Stone Cold Badassery, which is fucking fun as fuck. But no, man, Kill Me. What? I'm just curious. Who was the mastermind behind Kill Me? Because I gotta know, man. I love that song so much. I love that.
Well, song. all of the songs are ultimately I write all of the skeletons. I write it all, and then they evolve.
He writes the guitar parts, and then
right, but I mean
on top of that, yeah.
So, all of those riffs and all that stuff I had, and Justin and I were playing with the idea of, drop tuning and doing other shit. And then he ended up getting an 8-string guitar and doubling some of the guitar riffs. And that's really what led to that being so heavy.
Which song you did that? You used to do that in DFD. You had
it was Pink Riots. We dropped down to Aeon, and Antiquity Small Rewards. We played in A.
Yeah.
And so that's where I got the idea from.
Well,
Was drop A over it.
Antiquities, you have two of the same notes, which is fucking bizarre.
Yeah.
The same note.
Well, Jason, that guitar was strung where the top three were all A, and the bottom. Jason, and the high three strings were all G.
Idiot.
It sounded fucking cool. It sounded cool.
You like it? I like it. Fucking.
I just heard something new, man. I had no idea that. I just knew the bottom two notes are the same fucking note.
Yeah. I had to use a bass string for that.
Oh my god, that's awesome.
But Joe, on Kill Me, that's definitely one where I feel like I got a chance to hijack, because that's actually the song that I got to try out with for the band.
Oh my god, yeah.
And then that's one of the riff where it goes one direction on the verse, and then all of a sudden, whoop, takes a U-turn, and Justin singing over that. And that's an example of Justin singing over something odd, not necessarily the oddest timing, but that riff is not normal for it's not in the pocket. It's in and out of the pocket for sure.
It's so funny that you picked that one out, Joe, because we had a lively discussion about me, and I picked that one out as one that I really liked. It was like, oh no.
Awesome.
So for context here for everybody else, we like we said, Greg comes in with the foundation of these songs, and he has an idea about where they go. Now, Greg is for I think not to the detriment of the band, but I think it's a bonus that he's terrible at communication. So he's like, I got this thing, and he goes, and then we just kind of interpret that as we can and try and add on to it. And usually our ideas of what it's going to be are misaligned, and it kind of comes out as something else entirely. And that song, I think, got a little afield from what Greg intended, and it's frustrating for him.
I don't think it's that, and I'm not going to go into my specific opinions about where that song is, but as these things are as the songs finish, and I've been listening to, I hadn't really listened to the whole album, listened to song to song to song, and Justin's heard these songs 1 billion times because of all the mixing and stuff. So when I've gone back, like, it is a really cool song. And that is one of the consequences of writing the way that we've been writing, is that sometimes a song does go completely astray and it's not what I had in mind. And sometimes it didn't turn out the way I wanted. Sometimes boy, that didn't turn out the way I wanted. It's perfect. But in the big picture, as far as the band, that song really does sound like the band. I mean, that's a perfect example of what we do, So
it totally does, and it totally fits on the record too.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and the record, like, you listening to it all in context, front to back, it's like it makes way more sense when you listen to the whole thing together.
Yeah.
Yes. That in there. So. Yeah,
I agree.
That's its own thing. I get it, Greg. I go through the same shit. Like you work on something and you give it to everybody. You're like, this fucking, and then everybody fucks it up.
Yeah. So but no, I mean, I think they fucked it up in a good way. I think it turned out pretty good.
I didn't mean that in a bad way.
No, of course.
Everybody gets their say and their input.
Right.
Just I want to throw this out there before we move on. That is the song. So when Pablo auditioned, I sent him "Trapped by the Speed of Light," which is an insane bass line. I was like, "Can you learn this?" And literally, I sent it to him at 6 p.m. and at midnight I get an email and he's like, "Here you go," and it's a done, finished bass track. I literally could just drop it in the song and here's a version with his bass on it. And I was like, "All right, he's in. Here's one of our new songs." And the next day, he's like. I was like, "Did you get it done?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, I wrote this slap groove over 9, whatever." I'm like, get the fuck out of here! Are you serious?
And he edits video.
Yeah, and he's got a huge song.
I remember Justin was like, "Pablo's in, he's in." I'm like, I haven't even met the guy, asshole.
Going over his head.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to find somebody else who can play this bass part.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That is too funny. Oh no, that really threw me off for a second. No, but no, I just wanted to throw this out there just real quickly because I wanted to get this out there. So the pre-orders are already available, right? So razortowrist.com, right? Am I right in saying that? Yeah. I know I've already got my pre-order coming. No, I just want to throw that out there, fellas.
Well, I'll elaborate on that a little bit. So it's super fucking cool merchandise that we did for this thing. So
yes.
it really is like, and it's all based on this purple and green theme, which is rad. You know, like I know that the guys, particularly Greg, was like, yeah, kind of over black band shirts, and I get that. You know, so we did some stuff that's, you know, based on that.
Yeah.
There you go. Hey, kick ass, man. Based on that, on the album theme. There's a really cool long sleeve shirt in there. That's maybe the most metal of all of it, kind of a Space Invaders sort of theme that Pablo came up with. And you know, there's a really cool shirt that one of the artists, actually the guy lives next door to me right here, for the Caffeine shirt. It's like an old school sort of 80s, you know, punk rock skateboard shirt.
Yeah, that looks great. When I saw the very first sketch, I was like, I don't know, man. But then when I saw it done, I was like, holy fuck, that is totally 80s skateboard. It was really, really cool.
Well, and dude, it would look awesome on a skate deck too.
It would.
Oh my god, yes.
Maybe that'll come along at some point. But yeah, that would be pimping. Like a white skate deck with that on that would be awesome. Dude. So yeah, so all of that's up there now. The hat I really like. We didn't do the straight beanie. We did the roll up beanie, which I prefer. And I hope you guys are cool with that. But, you know, people seem to be into that as well. So yeah, if everybody wants to go to razortowrist.com and support the cause, it helps the band, do another record. So that's,
yeah, I just want to comment on my favorite piece is that goddamn hoodie, man. That hoodie is
that hoodie is awesome.
That was just,
dude,
putting it on that purple was just the right idea. It turned out really well.
Man, honestly, like I was when our rep at Indie Merch was like, dude, I can only get the one with the white zipper. I was like, all right, well, lay it out and let's see what it looks like. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I prefer it.
Great.
I wanted to go into the album artwork just a little bit. This is actually a really nice surprise that not a lot of people know about. So I did do the album cover art. I have an art professor who is actually really well known. His name is Barry Jackson. He helped me with the color. So Barry Jackson literally did the visual design for Shrek, for Nightmare Before Christmas. Nice. He did Cool World. He is the guy who did Ant Bully. He's been in the industry a long, long time. That guy, the guy who did Cool World, that entire world with the crazy buildings. Yeah. That guy is one of my art teachers. I do private lessons with him. He was very kind with his time and helped me out with the coloring. So he took this album artwork and said, hey, I'm working on this project. Could you help me kind of really like get it to the next level? And he helped me out with some of the composition. This is a photo. Yeah. And he said, your color, and he gave me some great feedback. He said, let's focus it in. And you mentioned the purple and green. He took those colors and said, these are your colors. Look how cool they contrast. Let's center it on that. And he took it to the next level. So when you talk about the way the hoodie looks, the beanie, everything else that got expanded from that artwork, it's a big a tribute to his influence on that. So Barry Jackson is also credited in the physical copy of the album as the album colorist. So we had a really special guest work
awesome.
On that.
I didn't know that. Yeah, man. When you first sent over like the original cover, I was like, yeah, that's pretty cool. And it's really grown on me since then, man. It's just like, it's just such a, like you said, man, the color choices are just, it's just unique. Like I've never seen it before with that green and that purple. Like it's just cool. So yeah, I love the hoodies. Awesome.
So now every time you watch Shrek, you think about a band that sings about dicks.
That's right. Not just any dicks, big dicks.
Big dick. Tommy Lee's dick, as a matter of fact.
No, so I mean, I know with the new album and everything, as a band, what or maybe this is individual, what song that's on the album or the new album would you like you can't wait to play live? Like, you know, because people don't really know how good you guys are live. You know, it's so fun. It's a good time, and I'm excited to see the new song. So, you know, what are y'all excited to play live? What are y'all excited to play?
Well, we already started playing Badassery and Caffeine live, and I think Badassery is just a stupid song to play live. It's such a fucking weird, like,
Love it.
such a weird vibe. Yeah,
Love it.
So I think it's going to be a fun one live as we play it more. We're toying with playing Kill Me live, and I'm gonna have to sing and play guitar for that one to do the 8-string stuff, and we'll see how that goes, man. I got to figure out what I'm gonna do. So coming back to Kill Me, I can see his comments over here. My buddy Matt Rice played the lead on that. I told him I wanted it to sound like fucking noise nonsense, and I ended up. He sent me like 9 different solos, and I chopped them up and just made them all into one ridiculous thing. And so I either Greg or I have to figure out how to play that fucking solo live.
Yeah. Hey, listen.
That's gonna suck.
Yeah. Hey, listen, Matt. I want to say thank you so much, Matt, and fuck off. All right.
That's serious. You guys are trying to play a Matt Rice solo. That ain't happening.
No,
I was
no.
thinking of getting a double neck where it's bass and guitar, and I'll play the solo, go back to bass. Greg's on 6-string, and then Justin's on 8-string. Just madness.
That could be one of those backing tracks.
Spinal Tap.
Right.
Spinal Tap.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll just
right.
go like this and have it in a backing track.
I'm really excited about starting to play The Prophet again. This is a song that we've been working on the past couple of weeks at practice, and that song I think is it's not one that we picked for one of the singles or anything, but I think it's a great song, and live I think it's going to go over really well. It's going to be a good rock and live song.
That is the hardest song to sing that I have ever written ever. That song is fucking hard to sing.
It's a good song.
That's track 3 on the new album. I love it. Let's see here.
Hey, beer check, Jason. What the fuck? Are you not being irresponsible and drinking on a Tuesday?
I have anti-wrinkle cream.
Will you get high off that? Get it.
I have finasteride, which is hair medication. I
heard that makes your dick shrivel. Don't do that.
No, I just not only at razorwrist.com. Where else can we find the music for the band? Is it on Apple Music, or where else can we find it? Everywhere, right? Okay, so if you're watching this, go out and pre-order or go wherever and stream it. Whatever you got to do to check these guys out, because they are amazing.
Yeah,
amazing.
We just signed a new deal with a new distribution company too, for the label. So my other project was kind of first through the gate, and Celebrity's next. So they're on Blood Blast distribution, which is Nuclear Blast's distribution, which is fucking awesome.
Fuck yeah.
So,
hey, speaking of your other project, in front of everybody on this, I want to congratulate you on that fucking album, Jason. That was fantastic album. I really, really, really enjoyed that a lot.
In the blind. Look it up.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate that. It was a lot of work putting that one together. That was you said this one took you guys a long time to do. That one really took me a long time.
Right.
For 7 years. So
yeah, well, it turned out fantastic. It was really good.
I appreciate that. So if everybody on this feels like going over and checking out the pre-order, that would be fucking great. It's like they said, it's at razortourist.com. Lots of good stuff over there to order and support the band. They'd appreciate it. We'd appreciate it. So do you have any other
excellent
questions there, Joe? I think we were going to do 45 minutes, and we're kind of up against it here.
One more question. I'll end it with this. Where do you want to see the band? Where are we going with all this? Where are we going? Because, as a fan, I don't want this train to stop. And it's been a hell of a ride, and I know it's going to continue to be a hell of a ride because of this album, man. And I thank you for having me a part of this, but just where are we going? What's the next stop for Celebrity Sex Scandal? Where are we going?
Yeah. Well, listen. So here's the good news, Joe, because Justin and I talked about this. I don't know, probably about a year ago, and we're like, you know what, man? Like, we've got this set up. We could pretty much do albums till we're in our 60s. You know what I mean? Like, we can just keep fucking recording because it's a great hobby to have. You know what I mean? It's a great hobby to have.
Dude, as
So,
long as
Great excuse to drink on a Tuesday.
man, keep doing them. Whatever.
yeah, I agree. I mean, it's a good time. So we'll keep playing until we either really don't like each other anymore, or you know, or something else. But I mean, yeah, I mean, you know, as far as like what's going to happen with things, I mean, well, that's just up to people. You know, I mean, we really have no control over anything other than offers you get or how many people come to your shows if they make it. You know, but I do think that we got a great bunch of guys that I enjoy hanging out with, that that are friends, that we write good music and play, and and so I think that we'll keep that up as long as we possibly can.
Glad to hear it, my friend. I love it. I love it. Justin, thoughts?
Dude, hey, I'll throw this out to everybody out there. Hey, the more that we get support, the more we can do. I would love to go to a weekend that's for a group. What are they like the dog fashion something weekend? I forget what it's called.
those family reunions.
Yeah. I thought, something
like that to be included in those things.
Yeah. I thought we were family.
We are family.
I know. Okay. No, dude. Honestly, I just want to gig more, man. I mean,
yeah.
When we stopped playing regularly, we were tight, man. We were drop a dime. We could dump through the set and get hammered and go to sleep. Like that was just, we could do it like it was Tuesday.
It's fun playing out. It's fun playing out, and and we are starting to play out again. So it's a lot of fun, and we'll see what happens.
And then one last thing also, thank you. As far as the next step, it'd be nice to add a little more visual content out there. So check out Caffeined, watch that video, share it. That's going to be really the next step as far as drivers for the band, is getting that great visual content. I didn't want to do anything that people said, just an independent band doing an okay video. I wanted to take it to that next level and continue to do that. So definitely check out Caffeine and share the hell out of it. Watch it over and over again. Let us know how you feel about it in the comments. Tell us your favorite scene, because that's also part of the direction we want to go in, is putting out great visual content that actually represents the band.
Yeah, and just wait, because there are 2 more songs that are going to come out before the release. So you'll be able to hear a couple more songs.
February 17th.
That's right. Yep. February 17th.
So get if you again, not to beat a dead horse, if you want to go pre-order this thing, that helps the cause for everyone. So please partake. RazorToWrist.com. We appreciate it. The band appreciates it. As we said,
spread the word. Spread the word.
Right. Spread them. Spread them. In the celebrity sex scandal way. Spread them. Spread.
And Joe, thank you. Joe, thank you so much for hosting and hanging out and taking care of us today.
I thought you were a horn player, Joe. At the beginning. Like, who is this guy?
No, I think it's just super fan. That's all I am. But again,
clearly,
thank you so much for having me, guys. Thank you, Jason.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, everybody that joined. Thank you, everybody that joined and watched.
It doesn't have anything to do with me, but thank you, guys.
No, it's all right. Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.